to read. I made the joke this morning. As somebody who dropped out of law school back in, I guess, 2011, who would have thought that the decade ahead would include having to read all of this legal-ish stuff, not technically legal documents, but kind of like what you read in law school. But rifling through this full disclosure, did not read the full 70 pages. I don't trust anybody who did, because I think that the entire thing can be summarized in that one line where the NCAA basically says, you've made no argument that leads us to believe that our punishments should be diminished or anything along those lines. And it was, I assume you're going to agree with this. It was basically the NCAA makes their allegations. Louisville says, we think the most significant of those are misguided. And the NCAA says, nah. And that's where we are right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so the funny thing about this is, so a few years ago, I was on, I forgot what it was live television, and they had me, I think it was actually ESPN. I'm pretty sure it was ESPN. I was very nervous, like extremely nervous, and making my stereotypical grumpy face that I always seem to make when I'm on television. And they asked me for my thoughts on the latest response from the NCAA or something. And I thought it was such a good comparison that got zero reaction whatsoever from anybody else on the show. But it really does feel like Revolutionary War times where they just line up against each other and fire muskets. Like nothing is changing. A couple people might fall here and there, but really, honestly, this thing's was always going to go to a panel. And the reason that you can make that prediction from the get-go based entirely on whether or not they decided to go through the document swap. Like the document swap typically is a sign that neither side is really going to budge a whole lot